Well, the global market value of furniture was estimated to be $509.8 billion in 2020 and expected to increase every year to reach a forecast value of approximately $650.7 billion in 2027. Let's come back home in Nigeria. That industry is estimated to worth $510 billion. And another area that seems to be undertapped, as a lot of Nigerians seem to have more confidence in imported products. But we do have someone there who's been celebrated in Nigeria for making the most of the needs in that industry and with local homemade raw materials. We have Jumoke Dada, founder of Tailor Furniture. Hi, Jumoke. Good to see you. Good morning.
Morning. So glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Well, you've been applauded for making the most of local raw materials and local needs. Tell us, what do you experience in that space? It's valued at about $510 billion. Is it worth that much, or is it worth much more?
For me, I think it's worth that much. Understanding that in this part of the world they don't get to produce anything. For me, from what I see, when you talk about furniture, it's still seen as something for the elites, not for everyday people. So even people that are bottom of the pyramid don't have access to good furniture, they see it as luxury. So the opportunity is still there, yet untapped, for even average Nigerian to be able to buy furniture pieces and all of that. Yeah.
So is it true to say that a lot of Nigerians lack confidence in Nigerian-made products, at least in that space?
I don't think it's lack of confidence in Nigerian-made products. I just think it's the fact that they are not able to find affordable first, then well-made furniture pieces locally, right? Because if you look at it, when you're trying to get furniture for an average Nigerian, what comes to your mind first is I would rather go to my carpenter because the furniture shops are so expensive, right? And that's the market Tailor serves at the moment, yeah? So it's really not around not having confidence in local brand, but it's just more or less around, people don't have that convenience when it comes to buying furniture, basically.
So why are you guys so expensive, Jumoke?
No, we're not. We're not. So for a table going for 29,000 naira, that's super affordable for an average Nigerian. Funny enough, most of our customers are millennials, Gen Z, right? So if millennials, Gen Z can afford to buy a tailor piece, I don't think it's expensive.
But how much of local raw materials do you use?
Yeah, for a bulk of it, wood and all of that, although some of the materials we still use are maybe imported by some suppliers. But like I've been telling people of late, Africa, especially Nigeria, has the potential to be the next China. The only place where we have to put a bit of effort will be in terms of technology, right? Because if we have that technology locally to be able to harness even most of the resources that we have, then I think we should be able to sustain ourselves, in that aspect.
Yeah, well, we seem to have a lot of areas where we should be able to sustain ourselves, but we have a lot of hurdles that has stopped us from maximizing those. Is there anything you think can be put in place to accelerate growth, that where we can become self-reliant, in wood, in raw materials, in production, in manufacturing?
I just feel like someone need to show that it's possible, and I feel like that's what Tailor is doing as a brand. We've shown people that it's possible. Even during COVID, when a lot of people couldn't go out, brands like Tailor were selling thousands of pieces of furniture to consumers. And when people like us show that it's very possible, then we'll be able to attract proper capital to be able to invest in technology, to be able to grow our production and grow all of those aspects. Manage supply chain and create systems that allow our supply chain to be well structured to meet local demands. And I feel like that's it, because right now most furniture brands just focus on furniture as a luxury, not furniture as everyday thing.
Yeah, talking about supply chain, COVID-19 brought a lot of disruption to supply chain, and now we have the war going on in Ukraine. How much of a disruption has that brought to the furniture space?
I would say in terms of materials, yeah, because now, you see a lot of suppliers trying to hold materials because, they don't know what might happen, So when it comes to materials, because even some of these materials have been imported from maybe Europe and China and some of these places, yeah, a little bit of destruction, but you still have like materials coming in, it's just a matter of you trying to stock as much as possible for you to be able to like survive during the like cold period, yeah.
Yeah, well, we did have that conversation with the manufacturer last week. Now, an interesting thing, we had a conversation here some weeks ago about metaverse in SME operations and creating memorable shopping experience. And it seems the future is here, already.
Yeah, technology has a huge role to play. Luckily, like brands like Tailor are like one of the first guys like doing that in this part of the world. For instance, Tailor didn't start up trying to open huge showrooms, right? From day one, we've always embedded technology in whatever we do at Tailor. So, for instance, we have things like augmented reality that can allow you like embed the pieces in your space real time. So that way, you don't even have to visit a showroom, to buy furniture, But things like virtual reality is already like here, like people use it, although like the adoption is really slow because a lot of people don't know about it and the fact that, okay, they have to use headsets. But I feel like right now, like the time is now, right? We've gotten to an era where people literally don't even have to step out of their homes to buy furniture pieces. Gone are the days where you invest in massive showrooms. Even big brands outside Nigeria like IKEA and all of that are trying to invest in smaller pocket spaces as against having that huge warehouse boxes, right? And that's what technology can do, shrink that huge massive space into like a VR headset. So.
But how affordable and accessible is this technology we're talking about? These are part of the reason why Nigerians will go to their furniture or be their carpenter down the road and tell them to do a chair or a table for them. Because some of these things just feed into the costs.
No. It doesn't, to be honest. For example, if you use things like augmented reality that kind of allow you embed the furniture pieces in your space real time, you're not buying a VR headset, right? All you're just doing is go to the company's website or the brand's website and click view in 3D, right? And you can get to see it in your space real time. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. I think the issue here is adoption, and a lot of people don't know about it yet. In developed countries, brands like maybe huge brands like Nike and some of these guys are already doing it. People already use augmented reality.
Well, you
I
need to
think
buy the
the issue
skills.
is
At least you buy the skills. At least you buy the skills. If you don't buy anything, you get the skills, the personnel.
Yeah, but I don't think that's like a huge cost. I think the cost from that is even less significant to what like the Nigerian economy is doing to manufacturing businesses. So yeah.
All right, for you now, what can we do in that industry? Especially, you're a young person and you've been successful there. You've made your mark. We're talking of unemployment in Nigeria now. We're talking of where we can attract more, because if you're talking of technology, metaverse, or whatever new thing we want to bring there, it's mostly the Gen Zs and, the young people that would bring those ideas and sustain it. How do we attract them there? Because when you talk about issues of capital, to start this acquiring skills, how do we attract them into this space so that we can actually sustain this technology and ICT in the furniture sector?
From what I've seen in my years of being a creative person and in my years of being a business person, one of the major problems creatives in Nigeria face is they have all these nice things in their head that they want to do, but it's very hard to implement them. It's very hard to build them. Part of the things we're doing at Tailor, for instance, is to have a program for creators, which is like Tailor for Creators, whereby creators can go ahead and maybe, for instance, dream of anything they want to dream of. And, we can help them maybe fabricate and do all of those things, bring all the ideas to reality. Because for the tech bit, anybody can do that from the convenience of their homes, but bringing all those things to life, requires maybe people who have a bit of expertise in that area. For example, a brand like Tailor who can help fabricate all of those things. Because I feel like the creative potential is there. You have like people who can do that, but the issue is it's hard producing in Nigeria. I don't have money to set up a factory. I don't have money to do this and all of that. And most times, creative people don't really want to get boggled with the whole idea of trying to manage the hassles that come with production or supply chain, right? So I feel like brands like Tailor, for instance, can help a lot of creatives, tap into that potential that they have and bring most of their ideas to life.
All right, Jumoke Dada, founder of Tailor Furniture, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Good to have you.